So you want to be a coffee roaster, but where do you start? I've been asked that question dozens of times by many people, in person, on the internet, all over the place. And this is going to be the first in a series of videos that will describe some of the routes to becoming a roaster, whether it's owning your own roastery or actually being a production roaster for somebody. A practical guide is the type of thing that I possibly should have had 17 years ago when I started in roasting. And unbeknownst to me, that 17 years has passed and 60,000 batches underneath my belt. I've accrued some information in my head, and I will try and give that to you in order for you to get from where you are today into the realms of roasting coffee. So where actually would I start? Books. So here's a selection of, I mean, I could have brought more, but it's a selection of books that we'll briefly talk about. And this is a great way to get your teeth into whether or not this industry, roasting coffee, the science of, the emotion of, whether that's going to be for you. So let's discuss. When I started in coffee, there wasn't this array of literature available for us as coffee roasters to begin. And I had to do it the old school way. I'll talk about the old school way in due course, but we're not in the old school now. We're in 2025, and we have things like the internet at our disposal and lovely books that are written by some very, very bright people who have given so much information to us as coffee people. These are hardbacks. You can obviously do ebooks and stuff like that, but I really would encourage you to start purchasing these things and getting embedded into what will be a fairly complicated career path, a complicated career path of science and emotion and being able to describe things that you are tasting and learning to taste and the science of so many different things. It may not be for you. And by investing a few pounds, pence or dollars in these types of things, you'll get a soupçon understanding of whether or not this is going to be the industry for you. Now, this video is not about recommending what books to start with, but why wouldn't you just get yourself onto Amazon or a website, do a Google search for books related to coffee. Maybe I'll list some of these in the show notes below so that you've got an idea of the types of reading that you could get into. This one here by Rob Hoos is fantastic. This one here by Ilian Viani, that's a classic as well. That's Cropster. More things that are interesting. Scott Rayo. Now, here's a man that I have spent some time with doing digital learning courses. We'll come on to that later. But these books, they're fantastic. This didn't cost much. It was about £25. That's a minimal charge to invest in this, your brain. This is your biggest asset in life. So fill it with stuff from these books. Alongside books, we have also the power of the internet. The internet is an amazing tool, and it's a tool that, okay, yes, I mean, I had the internet when I started roasting coffee. I'm 44, I'm not 104, but there just wasn't the information on the internet as it is today. There's never been a better day to get started in coffee, but you've got to do the hard yards. You've got to fill your brain with information that is so freely available. There are even semi-bored people like myself on the internet who have made a career out of roasting coffee that are freely imparting information about the career path that you could have. We just didn't have that back in the day. Now, for example, when I talk about online digital, there are professional places that you can commit to your brain, commit to spending a little bit of money on building a repertoire of understanding that would be useful to yourself to start a roastery, or if you're going to apply for a job within a roastery, would be really useful. Now, a resource that is fantastic for a fairly low price is this one here, Barista Hustle, baristahustle.com. On it, you have coffee roasting courses. There are 54 lessons, 7 chapters provided by Scott Rao. There's also 58 lessons, 7 chapters, 25 hours of study time on roasting science. I mean, mine are 0% completed because I've not done them. So do as I say, not as I do. But these are fantastic, and it's a really great way of showcasing the art and science of roasting, and also to your potential employer that you have spent some money on yourself and invested in understanding a bit about roasting coffee. Now, as a potential employer, I would look very favorably on somebody who presented themselves to the Roastery and could discuss some of the books that they have read inside an interview, and or some of the digital courses that he or she may have done. Going forward from that, and we'll discuss these a little bit more in detail, you can do professional courses. The SCA, Specialty Coffee Association, has professional roasting courses alongside green grading and cupping and all the sort of facets that are really important inside of a coffee roastery. But as an opening gambit in videos on how to become a coffee roaster, please start at the very beginning and read some books. Go on the internet and study some online courses, and that will get you into a much more favorable position than your competition in the jobs market or your competition as a coffee roastery. There are so many roasteries today that haven't done the hard yards in developing their broad understanding of coffee, roasting, the science and art of. I hope this video has been somewhat helpful. There will be more that I will produce about becoming a coffee roaster. Believe me, a lot of them will be about doing the work. So do the work, do the hard yards. It's so important for yourself as an individual, for your potential employer, and just life as well. If you're interested in more videos that I have created, please follow the links around there. It would be really swell if you subscribed as well. And until next time, enjoy your coffee. Cheers.